Hey guys, welcome back to another random repair video. We're in the garage and there's a problem. So tell me if you can spot the oh, there it is. This is Deadpool. Sorry, the lighting is really bad in here, so it struggles to record, but Deadpool pinball down. So the issue with Deadpool, the sound will cut out occasionally, and that was basically the first symptom of it. There's also a higher pitch noise from the speakers at all times, but you got to be close to the speakers to see. Okay, so what we discovered is this is the main CPU board. This is the CPU here. These are your speaker connectors here. So there's a speaker here, and then there's a woofer down below pointing at the floor. What was going on with this guy is this, the speakers would normally work. The woofer, though, I found in testing, never works. And sometimes the speakers will cut out. A quick scan of the board with a thermal imaging camera showed this IC was getting really hot right here, okay? So I think it's called U13 on the CPU board. Yeah, U13. I'll show you better inside with some better light. It was getting really hot on the IC, and so I looked up the schematics, and it turns out that particular IC is for the audio. That's actually for the woofer, and it's the amplifier chip. And there's another one, I believe it's behind here. It's the same chip, and it's for the front speakers. So it's a 25 watt digital amplifier, and it is, you can see compared to my finger, the thing is tiny. So we're going to attempt to replace that today. Because this board is $900 US. So don't want to replace that on a game that's not even a year old. So let's get to it. All right, down here in the lab, you'll have to excuse the filming. I have nothing really set up to film down here. So this is the CPU board. You know, to just replace this with a new one, like I said, it's about $900 US. And you know, as you guys may or may not know, I'm in Canada, so that's 3,500 Canadian dollars. Oh no, not quite, but it's I think 1,200 bucks or something by the time I see this. So really don't want to go there if I don't have to. This IC Canadian is not very expensive. Yeah, you know what's interesting? Now, from what I can tell, this is the IC for the woofer. Sorry, it is the IC for the woofer, U13. You can see it here on the schematic. Hopefully you can. So it's U13. Okay, and it is directly connected to the other IC, which is up here. So you can see them connected. This runs out to your speakers. Okay, it goes through these inductors and some capacitors and into your speakers. This is the same idea, except for they're running it into right into the woofer. So I guess this is more of like a bridged mode on this chip, and this is the one that's getting hot. Now the interesting thing is this is U13, this is U2. Something has gone on with this IC because it's really hard to read the text. It's quite dark on here. Okay, so it's gotten really hot in there. This one here, this IC is the text is still like a lighter white or a brown, light brown almost. This is a dark text. So I have the replacement ICs, and I'm going to go ahead and get this replaced, or attempt to anyway, hopefully without ruining anything too badly. And my hands are probably going to get in the way while I do it, but I'll try to record as I do it so you can see what's going on. And I'm going to replace this IC. So we'll test it out afterwards and make sure it's working. I do see a lot of discoloration on this board. The voltages have been checked and they're fine, so it's not a voltage issue. It appears to be a bad IC. You know, hot air is essential for removing this IC, so we're definitely going to need to do that. But first, I'm going to just put a little on these pins here to make them a little easier to work with. Although now that I see that pad on the bottom, I'm not sure really how much this is going to help. We're going to try though. We will try. Just melting this on here. Sorry, stern, but something went wrong. So I'm not quite sure if this is a common fault on these boards or not. Oh, geez, it's not very steady hand. But definitely something went wrong here, so there we go. So I'll just melt it down just a little more. I don't want to get everything too hot here is the big thing. I'm close to a lot of stuff here. I want this chip to remove as easy as possible. Turn the hot air on here now. Wow. Look at the size of that pad there. No wonder it was such a pain to get off. All right. All right, just had to grab some solder braid. I was all out over here. Just, what I'm gonna do here. It would have been nice maybe to try to get some flux on that under that chip, might have helped, but that's a really tough spot to solder. This board is definitely a really made to deal with the heat from this chip pretty well. It seems fairly well designed. I'm impressed with their schematics and that. Yeah, it really sucks the heat out of it. It's crazy how decent. If you've seen my channel, you probably realize I'm just a technical minded kind of guy and I like doing a little bit of everything. I actually cleaned it really nice. I don't see any issues there at all. Wow. That's the problem with this stuff is, you want to go with the pins whenever you can, but it doesn't take much to have too much, if you know what I mean. So the goal here is you want to get the pads hot so the solder sticks on the pads, but you don't want to overheat them or then you burn them. So it's a perfect little kind of dance in between. I got too much on this center. Remove like way too much on this center. Just gonna remove a bunch of that. And the solder braid, use just some kind of a copper wire with a flux or something like that, so it solder's attracted to it. And then because it's braided, it has a lot of surface area for it to wick into. Okay, almost like, I think. Just make sure the chip is the right orientation. Okay amount of flux there. Mashing that thing around. All right. So to actually solder that in place. A little discoloration on that board is unfortunately just kind of what's going to happen. Board's already going to be a little on the warm side. And I'm going to just preheat the back just a little bit here. Burning the place down.
Smoky, should we leave it ready? Steady hands there, Steve. Get as close as possible, and then once it melts, it should kind of suck itself in a little bit, and then we should be good.
This is going to be a lot easier this time around, because the solder is going to have a little lower melting point. Got a little smoke, that's just from the flux. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. That's what we want, right there. I'll turn the hot air. I'll get the solder on for now, just in case I got a little touchy up to do. These are very, very small pins on this guy. So I know through the camera they look huge, but like, here's my finger, right? So, you know, no, they're not huge. Yeah, it's some nice Kester solder. I like this stuff. I've been happy with it so far anyway. Just give that another second to cool down, and then we'll give it a good clean up. Alright. So that's replacement of U13. My alcohol's evaporating. Yeah, ha 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 ha. I will, I'll give it a good inspection through the magnifier off camera, because it's way too hard to do if I'm trying to give you a view. And then we'll go back out to the garage and test it in the game. And cross our fingers that everything works. Alright, so I've reinstalled the board. We're back in the crappy lighting, I apologize. So just to, I don't know if I fully explained what the problem was. The problem was these speakers would work, they made noise, the cabinet, the woofer would not work, and 50% of the time this wouldn't work. So I think what was going on was it was every once in a while that chip would drag down the power supply and then you get no sound at all. You know, I don't know if I would have even bothered fixing with just no woofer. A lot of times these are on location, and you know, I probably just would have left it. But the fact that the sound would drop out altogether was not acceptable. So is it going to blow up? Maybe. I'm not sure. Let's see. I've only plugged in I plugged in all the speakers minus, or the speakers minus these two. So the cabinet woofer is not plugged in. I can already see the power supply is not on. Crap. Oh, there it goes. It went. Okay. So we'll see if there's sound now through the woofer, and if there is, then it's repaired, and if there isn't, then we've got an issue. Here, let me just lower that a little so you're not getting the light. It's quite that bad. There's not actually a big blotch in the corner of the right screen like it looks like in the camera here. That's just some kind of weird reflection. So is there woofer sound? That was it. So we're back up and running. Now what powered off. I'm gonna plug the main speakers back in, and we'll turn the put the translate back in this now. I'll turn the game back on, and we can hear if all the speakers are working. But I'm confident now they will. The woofer didn't work at all.
Look at you in the gutter.
All right, that's my butt keeps hitting Iron Maiden over there. He's talking. There we go. This is great. Wow. The audio is working once again on Deadpool.
Boo!
Don't mind that score. I wasn't actually playing. And that's it. It works. Wow. Another nice repair. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. I know I did. I learned that the amplifier ICs can possibly go bad, of course, on a Stern Spike 2 board. And now it's fixed. Like, share, subscribe, and let me know if you want more pinball videos, because we can make that happen.